everyone. So today's shave is gonna be a bit different. I'm not gonna try anything new. It's gonna be more of answering to questions that people have been asking me for a while. It's gonna be more of an instructional video basically for all those people that are asking those questions. So I'm gonna show what we're gonna use. I got a really cheap brush. I think was about a $5 or something like that in the supermarket. I think it was Lidl if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna use the whole set of Proraso Green just to go on a budget basically. I was gonna go with the King C Gillette and then I said no, King C Gillette would be easy because it's a very easy shaver except for the handle, which you guys can go and see my reviews of it. I'm always complaining about that handle, but the head itself is very good. So I decided to go with the Fatip, which is pretty cheap one as well. So I'm gonna try to go on a budget on this one. We go with the open comb one. Blade wise, blades, all of them are kind of cheap, like, and I haven't used this in a long time, so I'm gonna go with a Gillette Platinum just because that's the first one I grabbed of the ones I have, so that's what we're gonna try. No, that's what we're gonna use. Now, this time around, I got the Proraso Green in a soap. I never even used it yet. I'll show you there. There we go. Completely new, because the one I normally use is the cream, but for all the questions I decided to get the soap just to show. One of the questions people ask me all the time is my technique lathering. First, before I start showing anything, take this with a grain of salt, because everyone is different. It took me a while to get this technique that works for me. I always say, take your time, try it. Don't be afraid to do mistakes. Don't be afraid. Even if you cut yourself, there's always a styptic pencil or an alum block or anything. You know, if you don't try it, if you don't try to develop your own technique, you're never gonna have a perfect shave, let's put it this way. When I started, I was doing 3-pass shaves. Now I only do 2. And the reason, that's actually one of the questions, and because they were asking about my ingrown hairs, if I get a lot of ingrown hairs and how can I do a 2-pass shave and go against the grain without getting ingrown hairs. And I'm gonna explain. I don't know if it's gonna show on camera, but my growth on the cheeks goes down and then here on the neck goes all over the place. Actually against on this area is actually like this. Okay, and if you go and see my old videos, I used to do the matte face. That would be against. When I go like this is actually across around here. And this is something that it took me a while to get, so to read, do a map, a layout of your growth on your beard. And that's very important. That's one of the main things you should start looking into. When you go with the first pass, go with the growth, and the second pass, go across. For me, across looks like it's against, and it's actually not. It's across. If I want to go against, it will be more like this. Although you guys know that sometimes I miss a few spots there. The reason being that some growth there is actually not all the way like that. I have on all directions around here, and the other complicated area is around here. It's kind of a swirl there as well. So this is all stuff that took me a while to get to know, like, so that will take time in practice and, you know, trying your own things. So let's start. I'm gonna load the blade first and open the synthetic, because it's a synthetic brush, and it will start shaving, and I'll be talking during the shave today. Let's go. There it is, loaded. Now let's open the brush. So a very cheap brush, wooden handle there, and synthetic, actually a bit hard, not that soft, but that's what we're gonna try, and I'm gonna soak it in now. Actually, I soaked it in, but I forgot to do one thing because this is brand new, and that's actually good for instructional as well. I'm gonna wash it first. The way I do it is just I'll get some neutral soap, or in this case, because it's synthetic, it's not that hard to do. Anything will work, just to get in the crannies there and just clean it up before I used it, before I put any kind of dirt or anything that I would have here on my face. If it was natural, then it would be a different story. It would have to be the previous day and I would have to take a bit more time with it. But because it's synthetic, it's just basically a quick wash and that's it. So I'm just gonna do a quick wash and then we'll keep going. So we're back, is washed. I'm just gonna put it back and soak it, leave it there for a bit. Now that I have everything ready, I'm gonna, sometimes I don't do this, but that depends on the soap. In this case, because it's the whole set, I'm gonna use the pre-shave. Some artisans that I know are excellent nowadays, and you're spoiled for choice. You don't need to use a pre-shave at all. Even the Proraso itself, it's not like you need it, but you get a better shave with it if you do, if you prepare your skin and your hairs first. So it's always, especially if you're very sensitive, it's always advisable to put some kind of a pre-shave there. There's the oily ones, there's this kind of creamy ones. In my case, I'm not much of an oily guy. I prefer those kind of ones. And then you have the hard soaps like this one here, which are really good as well. So it's up to you. It's your choice. You have to try it and, you know, see one thing, see the other thing. You don't need to spend a lot. Just get one from time, use it for a while. If you see that it's not good for you, give it to someone else and try something different. Like, it's just a question of you trying and seeing what works for your skin and your hair. So let's go. I'm gonna wash my face first and put some water. Today, because it's really warm outside, I was thinking about doing a warm just to show, but I'm actually gonna do a cold, which some people say it's actually harder to lather with the cold water. I haven't seen a difference, at least with me, but that's what we're gonna use today. I'm gonna use cold water, not freezing water, just room temperature water basically. So let's go. There we go. Now dry my hands. We'll use the pre-shave first. Now, me myself, I like to, when I put pre-shave, I like to actually let it sink into the skin and just massage, because it helps not just with sinking into the skin, but it helps to actually lift the hairs as well, which that's one of the main reasons sometimes you get a really good shave, is because you prepared yourself first before you even put the blade in. So, and one of the main reasons why I don't use bowl, I normally go face lather. That's another of the reasons I do that as well, because it prepares my skin and my hairs for the shave itself. That might not work with you, you know, that depends. I did use bowls before, but it wasn't that great, that enjoyable for me. I always did enjoy more the face lathers, and I always found that I had a better shave when I face lathered, and I looked into it, and I think it has more to do with lifting the hairs and your face gets ready for the blade itself. So that's one of the main reasons I don't use bowls. And when I use normally, it's because it's either a soap that is too soft that I can't bowl lather, or because it has some kind of ingredients like goat's milk and stuff that if you leave the water there and you don't let it dry properly, it can spoil the soap. Although I do it even with goat's milk and donkey milk and all those products. I still bowl lather and I leave it there for a day or so drying up, and then I close it, and that's what I always advise to do, even if it doesn't have those kind of ingredients. Just let it dry, you know, air dry, and then you can close it. So now we have the pre-shave. You barely can see the pre-shave there sinking in. So now I think I'm ready to do the lathering. So let's go. Proraso Green, never used. I got it just because of this video and because I intend to do another video in the future comparing the soap with the cream, but that's in the future. Let's go. So you get the brush, get the puck, and you go into the puck and start loading the brush. Some people dry the brush completely. I tend not to, and I actually, because this is actually a cheap one, synthetic, doesn't retain much water. So it's gonna be kind of dryish for this one. But what I like to do is actually just put it there, and I'm gonna show. I like to leave some water there inside, okay? And then like there's an excess there. So what I'll do is I'll just shake by 2-3 times, but you still have enough water inside to start. When you're loading, you're already lathering it up at the same time, and you will have enough water so when you go into your face it won't be too dry. I found that works better for me. Some people like to go dry and then add water. I prefer to overload a bit and leave the water there, and it will be already kind of moist when I go into my face lather. That's what I normally do. So let's go. I still have some water there. as you guys can see. Now, you can see that it's already forming enough bubbles there. I actually think it's already loaded, but I'm gonna keep going a few more seconds and then we'll take the brush, leave it there. I normally don't like to waste the soap, so I'll take the excess there. And put it into my face. Now, if I didn't use pre-shave, in this case, this soap is actually pretty soft. I was expecting to be harder, but it's not. It's actually pretty soft. So I'll just spread the soap. So even when you don't load enough the brush, which I think it is, you have enough soap already on your face from whatever was on the pack. Now wash my hands. I'll wash the soap. Normally when I wash the soap, I wash it with cold water. The reason being because if it's warm water, I will take more soap out of the puck. So I'll go like that, and now I'll just leave it there hanging upside down, drying. Now, one thing that they asked me, and I'm gonna say it again, you don't put it like drying when there's no air going in. You have to leave it a bit outside so there's air going into the pot. But I think that's common sense, but just in case, there you go. Leave a bit of air, let it breathe, let it dry. And then, depending on the soap, I normally check before I even close it. I'll go and look, see if it's still wet or moist or whatever. If it's not completely dry, I just leave it there again, right? It might take a bit more depending on the soap. Then you close it for the next use. So let's go, let's lather up. You guys saw I didn't add any more water. It's whatever water is still there, which on this case, because this brush is a synthetic, and it's actually a cheap synthetic, it won't have that much water, so it's gonna be kind of dryish for me. Normally I like to be a bit more sloppy and wet and still have plenty of water there when I go into my face. So let's go, let's start lathering. Now, it's definitely a bit dryish. Some soaps, some artisan soaps, because I leave plenty of water, I barely need to go back to get more water. But in this case I need, so I normally go into the tap, use my hand, put a bit on the tip, like so, or put the tips under the water. I'm gonna use the cup, but I normally don't do this, but just to demonstrate, I don't go and put like this. Some people do, I don't. But I'll put the tips underneath the tap water. There we go. I think there's enough water there, so let's keep going. Now, as you guys can see, the consistency changed a bit. It started getting more shiny, and I just keep going at it. And I'm using a cheap brush. This brush doesn't help at all because it's not that soft. It's actually pretty hard. So you guys can see that even with a cheap brush, just keep going, swirl. This will keep forming lather. And at the same time, and I need more water for this side, so let's add more water. There we go. Don't be afraid to be sloppy. I like to take my time. I really like to take my time. And, you know, lather will fall, you get messy. But that's what I love about shaving. For me, this is an experience all the time. And I love this. Love this. You know, that's why I have my shirts for shaving as well. In case I get too messy, you know. And then you just dress yourself and you don't need to worry about anything. Some people like to use a bib or something, like, you know. So just keep going. I think this consistency is actually pretty good already. As you guys can see, pretty good. And because I left some water there and it wasn't that much, I only added twice water. Now, if you think it's not the consistency you like, you can just keep going, keep adding more water. And I'm gonna show it because I know this soap can take it. swirling, see, falling all over the place. And this leather is already good, but let's imagine you don't like it like that. You want even more. For example, straight razors like it to be even more liquidy, not as creamy. So just keep adding water. There you go. See? Just lovely, keeps forming, and Proraso, in my view, price performance is great. It's not, how can I explain this? It's not like the artisan experience where you have some of the best products you can use. But if you're on a budget, easy peasy. You have a great experience, easy to form, a great soap, plenty of protection. As you guys can see, can take a lot of water, forms easily. I'm using a cheap brush, paid a $5 for it. So, you know, good. There you go. Look at this leather. I think I have enough leather there already. So this was our demonstration of how I form my leather. Another thing, it might happen, it depends on the soap. Some soaps are different, like, you know, some soaps are not thirsty at all, so you don't need that much water. Other soaps need a lot of water, so you need to add more and more. That's why I say take time. If you're in a hurry, use something that you already know how it works. I myself, I shave for the experience itself. It's not for work. I don't need to shave for work. But if you're shaving for work, you either do the night before or wake up a bit early and take your time and enjoy the shaving itself. If you're in a hurry, just get something like a cream, for example, which are easier and quicker to lather with, and you can do a quick shave, no bother. But I myself, I like to, especially this part of lathering, it's my favorite part of the shave. I like to take my time and get the perfect consistency, you know, add the water I think I need to use. And that's my way of thinking when I look at lathering itself. So I hope I explained this part, which a lot of people were asking all the time about my technique. This is basically my technique. It's nothing fancy, nothing special. It's just I like to take my time, load up the brush. The other thing as well, it depends on what brush you're using, because each brush is different, each combination is different, changes everything. That's why I like to take my time. I had a few people saying that I do a good lather. I think the reason I do a good lather is because I do take my time to get there. I'm not in a rush to do it. If I feel that it's not, and it's all by feel as well, if I feel that it's not there yet, I add more water. Or if I feel it has too much water, you can just get the puck, load a bit more, and go again. That rarely happens. Rarely. Especially with me, that I always overload. But that's basically my technique of lathering. I hope I was able to answer that question and show it, and you guys can see the leather has still loads of water. I've been talking and it's not drying up. The other thing, I was actually expecting to dry a bit so that I could do another demonstration, but I'm gonna say it again. If you get a soap that dries up quick, it's easy. Just go, get a bit more water, back into the brush, and just go again. Okay, easy. Just go again, add a bit more water, see, falling, no matter what. I take my time. I like to take my time and enjoy the shave. So that's it. That's basically it. Hope I was able to explain my technique of lathering, and hope you guys enjoyed. Hope it helps someone. So just take your time, enjoy it, feel all that involves lathering, you know, the adding the water, feeling the soap, feeling the scents, all that stuff. So just take your time. If you're in a hurry, get something you already know, quick enough, and then another day when the beard grows again, yeah, I'm gonna go to work the next day, so I wanna enjoy the shave, I'll shave the day before. That's what I do sometimes, like when I'm busy here, if I don't have time, I know that I'm not gonna have time the following day to do the shave, I do the shave before. Or what I have been doing lately is waking up really early, about an hour before my normal time, and do the shaving and enjoy my shaving. And I know every time I do that, I have a great day, you know. So get the difficulty of waking up a bit early and do my shave. That's the only thing. So that's it. I'm talking too much already. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit different. It's more instructional. This one is more for the ones that were asking about the leather itself. So here we go. Now I'm gonna keep this shaving going, but it's gonna be divided in two. This one is gonna be just basically the lathering. Next one will be about the shaving, all the questions about the shaving and the blade and the razor. So just wait for it. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope I was able to help someone. If you did, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to help the channel even more, there's my affiliate links down below. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye. Ciao.